Hello everyone, this will be a quick guide in which I will cover the basics of Blink RNG in Gen 7, starting with the starters. Before we start however, I must mention you need to have RNG'd your trainer ID and trainer shiny value first. There will be a link in the description to a blisy guide that will cover that manip. Links to all the tools will be in the description. Also, quick shout out to the JP RNG community, especially Kakerando and Cypher. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to do this. There will probably be a lot of people that are new to Gen 7 retail RNG, so I will mention how I personally find my initial seed. Sadly enough, in the end it will come down to just get good. However, I will try to give some pointers. In a lot of older videos, I see a lot of people that are using the ending positions to find their initial seed. Personally, I prefer starting positions just because they're easier for me. And one small added bonus to when you master starting positions is that seed finding goes slightly faster. However, it all comes down to preference, and I suggest playing around and just practicing it. I do have some small tricks however that help me identify the spinners, but first I'll show you the footage of me finding my initial seed so you have an example. You might have noticed one thing already. I go in and out of the starting screen quite fast. The reason for that is not only to speed things up, but to make me less confused as to which one it could be, if that makes sense. Not only that, but I do multiple spinners to make sure I don't have a false positive, so I suggest to do at least 2 to 3 more after you found a seed. And now that you have your initial seed, let's start with the actual manip. If you have done the trainer ID manip as mentioned before, you should still be safe right in front of the grass. Walk in and go through the cutscene as normal. When you get to the selection screen, pick any you'd like, it doesn't matter. Press yes and wait till the staring competition is over, and when the box appears that says you've chosen your starter, wait there. From this screen we are able to see the blinks of the player character, and we will be using that for the manip. Copy your initial seed from the 3DS RNG tool and paste it in the top left box of the second tab. I'll provide translations for the parts that are necessary on the screen, so you can always go back and pause if necessary. At this point of the cutscene, the NPC count won't change anymore, so leave the Pokemon box unchecked and put the NPC count to 1. For the search range, I just put it between 0 and 100,000 advances, because for 100,000 advances to occur on the screen, around a half hour is needed, so you should be safe in this range. Now you're all set up, you can press the bottom left button to start. Now each time the player character blinks, press shift on your keyboard. Sometimes you'll notice a rapid double blink happening, but don't worry because this will be considered as one blink, so press shift 1 time when it happens. After you've done around 4 to 6 blinks, you can press calculate to find out your current position in the RNG. Currently, I am 1206 advances past my initial seed. Because this is a calibration run and I just want to check if my result is correct, I will just pick a random target from the 3DS RNG tool. We now copy and paste our current position, in my case 1206, into the minimum range in the 3DS RNG tool. Also, make sure your settings are like mine on the screen and then press on calculate. Right click on the target you want to go for and press set target. Now you can copy the target from the target box and go back to the blink tool. Now press on the circle that says target and paste in your target. Press calculate once more and a list should pop up with all the blinks that will happen between the current position and your target. Press on blink timer and a little timer to track your blinks should appear. Now press on the bottom right button to start and see if the blinks line up. If not, a couple things could have happened. Either A, your initial seed is wrong, or B, you made a mistake while blinking. Now you're sure the blinks are synced, you can now change this box to either time or nothing. You can set it to nothing if the beeps get annoying after a while. Just make sure that you change it back to time in the last 60 to 30 seconds as you approach your target. As you can see on the screen, we are now approaching the target. After you pressed A when the timer reaches 0, the timer will continue to ring. This is normal and just a fun, quirky little thing it does. Now that we received our starter, which we've most likely missed, we can calibrate. Put its stats and nature in a 3ds RNG tool as seen on the screen to see by how many advances you missed, so we can use that for our actual attempt. For the starters, we can calibrate it in an easy way by just looking at the Shift F column, and by adding that number to the consider delay box. In my case, I missed by 18, so I add the 18 to the consider delay box, making it 38. With this, we don't have to bring in a calculator for each attempt. However, this way of calibrating only works for the starters as there is only one NPC. If there are more NPCs, then it's not as accurate, so I wouldn't do that. Just do this only for the starters. With this, you should be set for the actual attempt. Now you just have to repeat all the steps mentioned before. Find your initial seed, sync blinks on the screen where you receive your starter, and if you pressed A good enough, you should receive your shiny starter. Or you are at least close to it. When I was recording for my video, I got it on my first attempt after calibrating. However, if you are only missing by 1 to 2 advances, I wouldn't worry about it and just try again. It's only after missing around, 6 to 7 attempts where I would adjust my delay. And that was my Gen 7 Blink guide for the starters. I hope it was helpful. I tried to cut out as much bullshit as possible, and in the future I am preparing for more Gen 7 Blink guides, including retail SOS RNG, which I've also done before. So stay tuned for part 2 in my Blink series where I will cover things like partner cap Pikachu. Thank you for watching.